So you're ready to get into 3D printing, you've been dreaming about the problems you can solve or the projects that you can start, but the very first thing you have to answer is which 3D printer are you going to buy? So like I said, I am approaching this 3D printing thing very much so as a student. So the very first question that I had when it came to me realizing that I wanted to get into 3D printing was, what printer do I choose? And the way that I answered that very quickly was, what printer can I get the most information about? Or can I get my questions answered the quickest about? And as someone who is a self-taught graphic designer who's had a fairly successful career doing that, I know that there are three places that I always look for information. The first one being right here on YouTube. Usually anytime I have a question, I go to the YouTube search bar and I type it in to see if someone else has covered this topic already to shorten my learning curve. I know that I'm capable of going out there and figuring these things out for myself, but usually that's going to take time, most likely money, and a lot of headache that I hope that I can circumnavigate by looking at someone else's videos here on YouTube. The second place that I normally go to get some of my questions answered, whether it was about graphic design when I first started or as I'm researching about 3D printing, is actually online forums. And that can be kind of anywhere online, whether it's a Facebook group that I'm a part of, or Reddit, which is a great place to get a lot of information, or specific websites that are set up just to have a forum about 3D printing. I like to see how many of them are out there. And so as I was doing my poking around to see what 3D printers were available and what communities and things were out there, both on YouTube and these online forums, I saw the Ender 3 name kind of rising to the top. There's a lot of people that own them. There's a lot of people that are suggesting them to brand new people getting in just like me, and there seems to be a huge community of people who know a lot about these machines. So my thought process being, if I buy one for myself and I start having problems, at least I can go to other people who are actually online in these forums and making YouTube videos and hopefully find the answer that I'm looking for. And that does lead me into my third point, which is friends. Do I have any friends who own this machine? And thankfully, yes, I do. I'm based out of Atlanta and they're all the way up in Michigan, but I can still shoot them a message on my Discord anytime that I need to talk to them and just ask them like, hey, I'm having this problem. Is this something you run into? Or do I need to go find the answer for myself? Now, I usually leave them to the end to communicating with my friends, not just because I don't like talking to them, but because I know as a friend who teaches, it can get very annoying if you're always the first stop for someone's question. So that's why I listed them in that order. YouTube is usually the first place that I go with my questions, then online forums to see if I can read through different logs and things to see if I can find the answer for myself, and then I go to my friends to see okay, I've looked here, I've looked for videos, I've looked on these online forums, but I can't find anything. Hey, can you help me out? I have actually looked at this, I put in the work and the time into this, but now I want your opinion and your experience, and so that way it doesn't feel like I'm taxing that relationship, like I'm always asking them questions. But that is a huge deal for me, making sure that there's a community around the next technology that I want to jump into. When we started getting into print on demand, there wasn't too much information because we were one of the first adopters, but I know that's not the case for 3D printing. I know 3D printing has been around for a long time, and I'm just getting into this game, so I want to tap into those resources that I have to hopefully shorten my learning curve and allow me to get to do the things that I want to do, which is print products and actually be able to sell them much quicker than if I were to try to learn everything by myself without looking at those resources. So for me, it really was that simple, kind of answering that one question in 3 parts was, can I find the answers to my questions that I know I'm inevitably going to have? So if you'd like to continue following me on this journey of 3D printing, I'm going to be looking at things like software and hardware and how to actually use this technology. You can subscribe to the channel, or you can check out some of the links that I've put in the description below. But until the next video, I'll see you guys around.